Hi, welcome to the Stock Trading Show, the Week Ahead episode, where we look at the week ahead in the stock market. As always, this video is not financial advice and is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Do your own research and make your own decisions. Okay, news events. Housing is the big story this week. With rumors of rate cuts in the new year, I have to think that this will spur housing numbers to start taking off in the next few months. As buyers anticipate lower rates and mortgage lenders start telling folks, hey, buy now, get the best price, lock in that low price while the rates are high and housing prices are suppressed, and then, just refi once the rates come down. I mean, I'm sure that's what the realtors and the mortgage lenders are going to be telling people to do. So so the big news this week is just housing. Housing starts on Tuesday, existing home sales Wednesday, and then Friday, new home sales. And then sandwiched in there is jobless claims on Thursday. So, nothing here that's really going to move the market in any one direction as far as a huge news event. Not like last week where we had all these big news events. So, that's kind of what's going on there, and we'll see how much housing can move the market. My guess is certainly not as much as the news events we had last week. Okay, so before the week began, last Sunday we were looking at this chart, and before the week began, we were watching to see what SPY would do once it got to that resistance point, right, which was that red line. And we knew that Wednesday was the big Fed meeting, the Fed news, and that would determine the direction of the market, whether we went up or went down. And so really for the remainder of the year, the Fed meeting seemed to indicate that rate cuts were coming in 2024. At least 3, some analysts suggesting 6. And so, hey, we were off to the races. We busted out over that resistance line, and that's where we're at. Now, it seems likely, I have been saying that the next target, and I've been saying this for a while, the next target is obviously 480. That's the next resistance or price level where we should see some kind of resistance at. My guess is, we'll see a range develop potentially, between 460 and 480. So this week, we'll see what happens. My guess is some sideways action this week as the market takes a breather. We've been in a bull run here, for what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight weeks. You got to think we see a little bit of sideways action here. I don't know. But that's where we're at. Market's clearly in a bull trend. Next level is 480. So that's where we're at. Can't imagine we see a pullback under this 460 resistance now that we're over it. All right. Bitcoin, we're in rangy price action. Bitcoin was choppy all week. Have to think that that range-bound price action continues. Eventually, that probably breaks up above 48,000 would be my guess. It seems like right now we've just got accumulation going on in here, and this consolidation is really a continuation pattern. So ideally, we get some more tight price action over the next maybe even few weeks to let any sellers settle out as, Bitcoin prepares for its next move towards 48K, which is, again, that next price target. So, again, ideally, we see more sideways price action, shake out the sellers, and then more buyers will come in as we head into the new year and we move up to 48K. NVDIA, again, officially it's still range-bound price action on NVIDIA. Some traders have taken an entry on NVIDIA as a swing play or a position trade as they, anticipate its next move and breaking out of that range. Again, I haven't loved the chart because you have that obvious 504 price resistance, which it has rejected off of at least definitively twice. But, you can understand why folks like it because on the weekly, it's an impressive enough chart. Some price targets have NVIDIA going to $1,100 in 2024. So again, this is clearly a flag, and it is almost, generally speaking, these patterns are continuation patterns, and we can expect that this price action would at some point break out over this consolidation here in this rangy price action and continue its ascent towards $1,000 apparently. So yeah, are we bullish on NVIDIA as a say monthly play? Obviously, absolutely. Am I bullish on NVIDIA as a daily or even weekly play? Nah, not really, personally, because, again, we've got this definitive range between 400 as a low and 500 as a high, and we're near that 500 resistance. Now, sure, it can break out over that, but until it does, well, it's still in a range. It's still in consolidation. It's still in chop. Now, would a purchase in there, if I were to buy, would I think it was a bad idea? No. I mean, again, it's a flag. It's a continuation pattern. It's going to move. Thing is, my money could sit there and I could watch it dip $100 a share if it rejects back off that 500. So I don't know. Again, NVIDIA makes complete sense if I were looking for buy and hold investing and plan to hold NVIDIA all through 2024, yeah, definitely. And I may probably take a position. But, for now, I'm just kind of watching that chart intently to see what happens. Been watching it every week. Apple. So I've been talking about Apple since that obvious tight price action from a few weeks ago, where we were right here. I said the next price target was 198. Well, sure enough, there we are. Now we're at 198, and like I said, we'd hit that resistance, and sure enough, we saw 2 days of price action pulling back under that 198 level. So, as I've been thinking all along, tight price action would move us up to 198, and then we'd take a breather. So it's holding that level. And so, what's positive here is instead of giving us a big bear reversal candle, it's, having tight price action for 2 days in a row. And that's definitely bullish. I tend to think because of that, I tend to think we break over that level at some point relatively soon. And assuming the overall market stays strong, that's going to drive this price action over 198. At some point, we're going to break over it and move to all-time highs for Apple. And it's going to, once it does break out over that level, it's going to bring in buyers from all over. That money's got to go somewhere, and Apple is going to be an obvious target once it breaks out over 198 as funds and individuals add exposure. Certainly, again, as a buy and hold for weeks or months, Apple seems to make some sense, for my portfolio. Tesla is also very interesting, right? We had this nice big long flag, and then finally in the last few days, Tesla broke out over that flag. Now we'll see. Sometimes we'll see this happen, and you get a false breakout, and she pulls back underneath that flag. So would obviously like to see a follow through day or two with some high volume, and then we can move up to 270-ish. I certainly think if we move out over this 265, 270 price, which is that level there, you got to think we're safe from any pullback back into that flag pattern. But that's kind of my analysis on Tesla stock. So a couple other really interesting stocks that I'm really kind of keeping an eye on for buy purchases this week is Elf, which is a beauty brand. Again, nice big bull run. This is looks like we are moving not nicely over that resistance level. We had this consolidation pullback, boom. So right now it's in a buy. It's holding in a buy zone. Probably going to take an entry on that one. TBBK. Again, we had this cup and handle, and seems to be it's trading right near that 440.46 cup and handle entry. So probably going to take an entry on that one, see what happens there. And then lastly, Datadog. It's just above 118.02, entry off a cup and handle. So the boom, little pullback, bam. So let's see what happens here. This is actually a 1 week chart. I've got it says daily, but that's actually a weekly. I like to get that right there. So anyways, that's another one. You can see the next level we break out over that, you're talking $200. So I'm liking that one too. So probably we'll take an entry on Elf, TBBK, and Datadog this week, and maybe a small size entry on Tesla, and maybe a medium size entry on NVIDIA, with just the assumption being that I'm going to have to hold that and deal with some choppiness over the potentially next few weeks. But got to think that does move up into the 600s and 700s at least in 2024. So that's what I'm kind of anticipating for my portfolio. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. That's the end of the show. Appreciate it. Like and subscribe.